Jamie Kloss returned to her family alive tonight after escaping from the man who police say abducted her. That suspect has been arrested, and we're learning more about the 13-year-old's heroic escape.
Jamie, we missed you, and we are so grateful you are home.
Home after 88 days away, we look back at the nearly 3 months leading up to today's incredible story. Your news starts right now.
Your local news and weather from where you live. News Watch 12 at 5 starts now.
It was only a few months ago that we as a community gathered to pray for Jamie's safe return at Barron High School. God has answered those prayers.
A 13-year-old girl who police tonight are calling the hero of this case will finally see her family again. The incredible next step in a case that gripped our state as well as the entire country. Well, the news made cell phones go off and news feeds fill up. Around 8 o'clock last night, we learned Jamie Kloss was alive and had escaped. She was last seen in mid-October, just before her parents were found murdered in their home about 2 hours west of here. We learned much more about Kloss's escape and the man police say targeted her for abduction. Barron County Sheriff just wrapped up a press conference about 45 minutes ago, which told us much more about the case. Rose McBride was watching. She joins us live with more. Rose, good evening.
Lane, this afternoon we learned most importantly, Jamie is safe and has been reunited with her aunt. Sheriff Fitzgerald said he couldn't release any information that would put more stress on Jamie or jeopardize the case. The 21-year-old suspect, Jake Patterson, is in custody. Officers got a search warrant for the home they believe Jamie was kept in Gordon, Wisconsin. They will be searching it for several more hours. Detectives did find a gun that could match the gun used to kill Jamie's parents, James and Denise Kloss, but the crime lab still needs to test it. That shotgun was also used to shoot open the door. The major question everyone has at this point is why this happened and how 88 days went by before Jamie was found.
At this time, nothing in this case shows the suspect knew anyone at the Kloss home or at any time had contact with anyone in the Kloss family. The suspect had specific intentions to kidnap Jamie and went to great lengths to prepare to take her.
Sheriff Fitzgerald said he does not believe there was any social media connection between Jamie and Patterson. Officers are not looking for any other suspects, but do not yet know if Patterson worked alone or if he had any help. Patterson will appear in court on Monday in Barron County. At that point, the criminal complaint will be released and we will get more specific details on the case.
All right, Rose, thank you. Kloss came out of the woods not far from her home in Barron, about 65 miles north in the small town of Gordon. Has a population of fewer than 1,000 people. That is where Kloss escaped Jake Patterson and found Jean Nutter as she was walking her dog. Nutter then took Jamie to a nearby house owned by Peter and Kristen Kasinkas. The Kasinkases took Jamie in, said she looked dirty and skinny. They contacted police immediately. Well, words like incredible and brave helped us get a better idea of who Jamie Kloss either is or has certainly become through this whole ordeal. We saw many of her pictures many times over the last 3 months, but today we got to see a picture of the man suspected of causing so much heartache and fear. News Watch 12 Dakota Sheriff was in Barron County for 2 updates held at the Sheriff's Department today. She joins us live with more. Dakota, good evening. And we appear to be having difficulty with Dakota's audio there on the live feed, but just moments ago she did file this update from those 2 press conferences.
We want to thank Jamie for being so courageous and for achieving an opportunity to find her way back to us. What an extraordinary young lady.
After a nearly 3-month search, Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald says Jamie Kloss managed to escape the cabin where she had been held captive in the town of Gordon yesterday, walking on foot to find help.
It's amazing the will of that 13-year-old girl to survive.
In cases like this, we often need a big break, and it was Jamie herself who gave us that break.
Kloss approached a woman walking her dog, who then brought her to a neighbor so they could call police.
A short time later, one of my patrol sergeants happened to find a vehicle that matched the description that Jamie gave my deputies of the suspect, and pulled the vehicle over and took the suspect in custody at that time.
That suspect is 21-year-old Jake Thomas Patterson of the town of Gordon. He will likely be charged with Claus's kidnapping and for the murder of her parents.
The subject planned his actions and took many proactive steps to hide his identity from law enforcement and the general public.
Fitzgerald says Claus has been medically cleared and will be reunited with her family today. Detectives are still working on why Patterson took Claus and what happened to her since she was taken in October.
We got the 13-year-old home. Now we're going to solve the case and make it foolproof for the district attorney's office. We ran a lot on hope for the last 88 days, and now we're running on Jamie's will.
Jamie, we missed you, and we are so grateful you are home.
It's Dakota Sherrick reporting for us. We did learn this afternoon Patterson will make his initial court appearance Monday afternoon. He's being held in the Barron County Jail on suspicion of 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, 1 count of kidnapping. Today, Jamie Claus's aunt spoke about the moment she learned her 13-year-old niece was found alive after being held captive for nearly 3 months. Kelly Claus Engelhardt was at a basketball game in Barron when she got the news. She said Barron County Chief Deputy Jason Liu approached her and took her to a private room and then told her the good news.
We're waiting for the word from the FBI and from all the authorities. We understand that this is going to be a process for Jamie, and we don't want to overwhelm her. We want her to be comfortable. So when they tell us that we can see her, we will be there.
Engelhardt now says she can't wait for Jamie to be reunited with her family, her friends, and of course, her dog, Molly. One of Jamie Claus's cousins told her mom last night, "It feels like this all happened in 2 seconds, but also 2 years." We heard thousands of tips coming into police and even false reports of sightings of Jamie as far away as Florida. But the people of Barron County never gave up hope through 3 months of hard work and a lot of waiting.
Thank you for being here.
88 days ago,
What a glorious day.
this day seemed improbable after a mysterious and startling murder and disappearance.
There was some gunshots at the scene.
2 people were found dead in their Barron County home. James and Diane Claus were shot to death, and their 13-year-old daughter, Jamie, was missing. A 911 call from Diane Claus's phone didn't offer much help.
Yelling in the background on this 911 call. No one interacted with our dispatchers.
A statewide Amber Alert went out for Jamie. The FBI asked for any help people could offer. Hundreds of tips came in that week, but led nowhere. Police departments from around the state offered their assistance with the search and to help the community cope. That included Wausau Police's therapy dog, brought to Jamie's school.
I mean, it's just giving love, a lot of love this morning, and making kids feel a lot better.
1 week after Jamie disappeared, Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald asked for 2,000 volunteers to search fields and woods on foot. That night, a gathering of hope at the football field brought out Barron's Chris Cruzy. October 27th, family, friends, and even strangers went to a funeral for Claus's parents, closing one chapter of the case, but with the biggest piece still a question mark.
Laying 2 to rest and still one out there missing and want to bring Jamie home.
In late November, as we turned our attention to Christmas, people around Barron kept their focus on Jamie. A tree of hope went up in the county courthouse, decorated with Claus's name and messages. In mid-December, we got to see inside the state crime lab where technicians tested more than 100 pieces of evidence from the Claus crime scene.
We're giving it everything that we can.
At the same time, another tree of hope was decorated, this time near Claus's middle school. A balloon release on the 2-month anniversary of Jamie's disappearance sent prayers skyward, hoping somewhere out there Jamie might hear them.
She is not alone, and we are all with her in spirit, and we will get her home safely.
It sounded like a wish for a Christmas miracle at the time, a prayer that was finally answered this week.
But when we said she was found safe and alive, tears and lots of hugs.
Thousands of tips ended up coming in to try and lead police to wherever Jamie Claus was, but we asked, did they look into all of those tips in hopes of finding her? Well, Oneida County Sheriff's Captain Tyler Young says they sent several deputies and detectives to help out Barron County in their search. Their team would be assigned tips to follow up on no matter where it took them.
In a case like this, you go over absolutely every single tip. You just don't want to leave anything behind because you don't want any what-ifs left behind when you're done with something.
Captain Young went on to say that the investigation was talked about daily at his Oneida County Sheriff's Office. He is relieved that there is finally going to be closure to the situation. Our very busy night is just getting started. Still to come here tonight at 5. There's some new hope for the nearly 300 workers soon to be out of work at Foster & Smith in Rhinelander. Several businesses stepping up with potential job offers. That plus your full forecast after the break. One of the coolest and biggest winter attractions will not appear in the Northwoods this year. The Eagle River Ice Castle is a no-go due to the weather. The fire department routinely cuts huge blocks of ice out of Silver Lake each year to make the castle, but Eagle River Fire Chief Michael Anderson said today there's simply not enough ice and it's not safe enough to bring equipment on the lake. Last year, the castle was built and stayed up until February 13th. Businesses around the Northwoods will not say they're happy about this week's layoff announcement at Doctors Foster & Smith in Rhinelander. The move by the company's owner, Petco, will leave 289 people without jobs. But businesses see these people as a new pool of potential employees to fill out their workforce. Lending Services call center in Lac du Flambeau wants to attract many of those workers. After all, the layoffs include 101 people working in Foster & Smith's call center.
I went to how can I get a hold of all these great employees. I'm like, they have, some of them have customer service skills or call center experience.
Hypro, Foster & Smith's neighbor on the west side of Rhinelander, wants workers to stay nearby. It is looking to hire 15 to 20 machine operators, no experience needed.
Not only are we neighbors to Petco, but we are looking to offer opportunities for those individuals to slide over into something new, stay in the community, and grow in the community.
Both businesses say they offer competitive wages and a comfortable working environment. Well, they are a symbol of our nation, majestic when they're soaring high in the sky, but bald eagles need to be healthy to do so. One recovered in Rhinelander over the Christmas break is doing better. We have an update for you on that bird that's on the mend after this. Lakeland and Mosinee boys basketball meet in just under an hour for control of the Great Northern Conference. It is one of the better conference games you'll see all season, and our own Andrew Goldstein is in the house. He joins us live with more. Andrew, good evening.
Lane, you hit the nail on the head. Whoever wins this matchup between Lakeland and Mosinee will find themselves in the catbird seat, as the late great Red Barber used to say. Lakeland coming in at 3-1 in conference, Mosinee at 4-0. A lot of season left after this, but this game is crucial. It is, however, not the only crucial game. Let's take a look at what we've got going on today. There's a three-way logjam at the top of the Northern Lakes Conference. Two of those teams play each other tonight. That'd be Phelps and Leona Wabeno. Meanwhile, Crandon is one game off that pace at 4-2. They're home against Elko tonight. And old rivals meet again in Anago. Nevin Cornelius ought to be fun to watch in that one. He's averaging more than 16 points per game for the Robins. Now, by the time you see me again at 6, this game will have tipped off, so I will have a full update for you then. But in the meantime, in Mosinee, Andrew Goldstein, Newswatch 12.
Looking forward to a great game, Andrew. Thank you. New Packers head coach Matt LaFleur confirmed today that defensive coordinator Mike Pettine will stay a part of his staff. Pettine's first season in charge of the defense was a mixed bag. The Packers allowed 25 points per game, ranks in the bottom half of the league, but injuries were not kind to the Packers. Green Bay had to use 32 defensive players this year, 2 more than in any season since 2013. The Bucks take on the Washington Wizards tonight out in D.C. They will try to get their 30th win of the season after they picked up a huge road win against the Rockets on Wednesday. But they have to do it without the Greek Freak. If the Bucks can knock off Washington, they'll be only the second team to get to 30 wins, right behind the Toronto Raptors. Seems like it's going to be a trend the rest of the season as those two battle for control in the East. You can watch Milwaukee on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Tip-off set for 6 p.m. Things did not look good for a deathly ill bald eagle with lead poisoning this winter. Today, that eagle is doing better, but still might not make it. A few weeks ago, we showed you that bald eagle suffering from severe lead poisoning in Rhinelander. Its lead levels have dropped off a lot since Wild Instincts took it in. Rehab director Mark Naniot still is not sure if she will survive, but they're doing everything they can to give the eagle a fighting chance.
We've had a lot of situations where the lead levels come down, everything starts looking good, and you end up with renal failure, kidney failure, something like that, and they perish at 3 to 4 weeks. So at this point, we don't have any excitement levels of, yeah, she's still here.
Eagle started experiencing breathing problems a few days ago. Naniot still is asking all hunters and fishermen to please use equipment without lead in it to prevent future cases like this. We have one last look at your forecast next. Well, Jeff, normally I have a pretty good sense of what we should talk about here at the end of the show. I'm out shooting a story. I'm out in nature. Not so much today. A lot of time in the newsroom with all that breaking news and the developments with Jamie Closs, but a little warmer today.
You've been busy, yes. And warmer today, yeah. We had highs yesterday near 19. Today up in the upper 20s.
Yeah.
And tomorrow probably a few of us in the low 30s.
Hey.
But not like last week. Last week, I remember upper 40s in the forecast. Not this weekend at all.
Okay.
We'll have highs tomorrow and Sunday probably in the low to middle 30s across the area. Look at the maps now. You can see what's going on. We have 20s out there currently. It's 27 in Rhinelander, 25 in Merrill, 26 in Wausau. Going down to 15, 16, or 17 for lows tonight. There are a lot of clouds out there, and a couple of these may produce a few light flurries this evening, but you could see a dusting maybe tomorrow morning. Most of us will stay dry from this. It is not a big deal at all. And then here we go. Let's check out your 7-day forecast. A slight chance for a couple of snow showers tomorrow morning. Again, not a big deal. High temperature near 27. Sunday, partly cloudy and 30. And then look at low 30s for us on Monday and Tuesday before we get really kind of cold again next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So no ice castle this year, but temperatures below average, not for like till Tuesday or Wednesday of next week at all.
Yeah, tough news about that Eagle River Ice Castle. We look forward to covering it every single year. It's great video. It made national news last year. Not going to happen this year with too much warmth, I guess.
Too warm.
Jeff, thanks for joining us here tonight at 5 o'clock. Again, the big story of the day, Jamie Closs found alive in Douglas County, north of Barron County last night. We got many more updates today, including the arrest and identification of the suspect, James Thomas Patterson, 21 years old. Learned he will be in Barron County Court next week, Monday. Much more on that story coming up tonight on Newswatch 12 at 6 and 10 o'clock. For now, we take a breather. We'll see you back here after Nightly News. Good night.